Zdravím všechny, co jsem kanál, tady ze Stres a vítejte u dalšího pokračování našich dobrodružství v Genshinu. Dneska se podíváme na další side story. A dnešní side story bude o něco v mé úvaze o něco větší než minule. Protože to bude taková o něco víc exciting osoba. Protože dneska nás čeká side story quest místo hangoutu, což je věc číslo 1. A dneska nás čeká Kazuha. Samozřejmě tady máme všude prerequisite, takže to bylo prostě jenom pade na pade pro vás diváky, ale ano, a to taky je na řadě relativně brzo. Ayatův reveal se konečně blíží. Hodně brzo. Ale ještě si budeme společně muset pár dílů počkat. Protože teďkon se budeme věnovat Kazuhovi a co se s ním vlastně děje? How you doing? Ding. Upon the plain, a purple shadow. Yeah, that is the one. Takže on je tady. Tak.
Poorly written applications lately. I guess I'll just have to reject them all.
Yes, you should. Tak, tam zajdeme a cestou můžu adresovat to, že ano, mám Alatima, což je věc, která byla už věc v minulosti, samozřejmě už jsem před časem dostal, ale mám Alatima v grupě jako aktivního charaktera a jestli jste si mohli všimnout dole, tak nemá level 40, jak by to mohlo být level 20 a pak jako trial charakter v té době, co jsem ho dostal, tak materiály zdarma na level 40. Ne, má level 60, protože jsem si vysníkoval pár těch jeho level up speciálních materiálů z minibose a jsem si ho navýšil, protože jsem zaslechl ze zdrojů, že Alatime je hodně dobrý. A zatím musím potvrdit, že je hodně dobrý. Protože jeho skilly z něj v podstatě dělají catching. Prostě Ečkem má vyloženě prostě teleport někam, nebo charge někam, kde prostě pak slashne tím elementárním damagem a Kvéčko je prostě podobným stylem jako dělá catching. Akorát, že to vyhodí jako AOčko před sebe a nestane se on tím AOčkem. A je to hodně dobrý dendro damage dealer. Takže rozhodně se těším, až ho eventuálně dostanu ještě výš a dostanu na něj nějaký ty Sumeru specific ty artefakt sety, který zatím nemám ani náhodou. Takže je tak uprostřed na cestě k OPčkovosti. Jako Sangonomia byla, když byla na 40 zasekla. Protože Sangonomia byla relativně OP. I když byla 40, protože jsem na ní nasunul úplně všechno, ale pak když jsem teď si ní udělal 80, tak stačí elektrický kombo od Raiden Shogun a jejího skillu. A Sangonomia může položit celou grupu prostě kurentních levelů. Od 80 je prostě úplně v pohodě. K Alatime si poradí tak do 70, 75 prostě v pohodě a 80 strugglí, ale když mu pomáhá s Kokomi a Shogun, prostě této sestavě konkrétní, tak prostě to je relativně v pohodě. Já jsem to setup a pravděpodobně byli jsme nedávno ve městě for Sayu reasons. A teď dlouho jsme nebyli tady na venkově mezi Inazumě City a tím Rito Islandem, tím Starter ostrovem, kde je tohleta planina a tam ta vesnice v povdálí. No, dlouho jsme to nebyli. Krajina pořád vypadá pěkně.
So many things have happened since then.
More memorable events.
Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today?
Wait a moment.
Huh? What's up?
Someone's coming.
Hey, what the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Okay. Jako měl v ruce nějaký epický sword. Nevím, proč má v ruce epický sword, ale okay.
Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedehara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animal vision.
You're looking for him?
That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
Pravda? Ne, že bychom mu něco reálně řekli.
This guy's problem. Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha.
Couldn't agree more.
Right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him.
Jakož mi něco, co bylo podobný k Musono Hitotachi, co měl Raiden Shogun, protože ty hápka mu přestali ubývat. Taky si jsem úplně jistý.
Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go find Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back.
I actually have a hunch where he might be.
Oh? What kind of hunch?
And also this guy has apparently connections to Kazuha for some reason.
A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other?
Can't say for sure, but the fighting style feels very familiar.
Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look.
Jaká to náhoda, let's go there. A strange and friendless road. Kazuha Act1. Of course, žádný walking for us. Jenom bududududu. A jsme tady. Hello. Hello. Tuk tuk.
Hey, hello. Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all.
Wait, you already heard about that?
Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beidou had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did.
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be?
You could compare it to the technique Beidou used to strike down Haishan.
Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable.
After all, Ei's will has changed.
Thank you. Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Jo, který to vůbec neexistuje. How far is it? Kilometr? Jo, ono to je až tady. Jsem myslel, že to bude někde jinde, ale teď jsem si uvědomil, že jsem si spletl Tenryou Commission a Kanjou Commission, protože na Rito Islandu mají vilu Kanjou Commission. A to není to Tenryou není. Ťuk. Můžeme vejít, nebo musíme vás párkrát zmlátit? Vyjdeme velmi v klidu. Nebudeme dělat vlny.
Oh, it's you.
It's you, Lumina.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree.
Kujo
Since
Kamaji.
you're here, you're very welcome to listen in on the conversation. We invited Mr. Kaedehara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaedehara name. Regarding the history of the Kaedehara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed?
Byli jsme na prázdninových ostrovech, kde jsme mimo jiné slyšeli jeho příběh.
In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaedehara clan belonged to this class, but there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil.
Kaedehara a Kamisato clans.
We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaedehara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaedehara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazumme, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past.
Jo, jako by se na to dala dát cenovka.
In the interest of preventing further harassment of the bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice.
You seek to correct a past injustice. Venku je crowd lidí, který ho hledá zuřivě a týpek s hodně badass Musono Hitotachi style mečem, který ho chce zaříznout for some reason.
With the Kaedehara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaedeharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end.
No, to není proto, že jeho wandering je necessary, ale protože je to jeho lifestyle.
You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazumme City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedehara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way way here with so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaedehara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaedehara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaedehara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and Kazuha still looks fine.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
Hi, I'm Lumina. I can carry like 3 or 4 elements right now.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
Please allow me some time to consider. In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Jaký týpek tě chce zabít?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about the most important thing!
Týpek tě chce zabít a fajtuje jako ty.
Dangerous individual be looking for me.
Could it be someone you trained with under the same master?
No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedehara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back! This guy was a serious nutcase.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious injury, or worse.
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the traveler in investigating the one who attacked her, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
Yay! Let's travel!
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Je tu ještě jeden velký detektiv, který spolupracuje s Tenryou Commission, který tu existuje. Ale jeho existenci nemusíme znát. Ten nás taky čeká v budoucnu, ale ještě dál než je to. Bohužel. Do té doby zůstane prostě zajímavá relativně středně velká postava, která prostě neexistuje, protože he was added slightly later. Byl přidaný lehce později a najednou prostě přestane existovat kvůli tomu. I wonder why. Nedokážu si to vůbec představit, proč ho nedali do questu, když ani neexistoval, já vím. Ale stejně prostě udělat questy a pak si domyslet, jo vlastně my chceme tady přidat ještě do tohohle univerza prostě tady to ještě jednoho charaktera, který pasuje sem, i když hlavní postava a hlavní storyline a některé side storyliny tam byly mnohokrát a ten člověk tam nikdy nebyl, tak teďka tam najednou bude, ale v jednom questu. Anyway, půjdeme za druhořadu Detective Agency.
I'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for him? For Kaedehara Kazuha, we mean.
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara. I've heard a lot about you. It is an honor to finally meet you today.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can offer.
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall anything of immediate interest. Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people looking for him. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaedehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa! Oh, wait. Even at that price, you probably still shouldn't.
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic.
Yes, slightly off
What I'm
topic.
really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaedehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads, and I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
That does make sense. Uh-oh. Looks like the trail's already run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now.
Is this your way of giving praise?
I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaedehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade against the almighty Shogun.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information we have, the better.
All right, then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The
Nagato.
other is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Vůbec se tím mám flashbacky na Nagata z Naruto Shippudenu, ale ne vůbec.
Amenoma. Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Let's consider it a favor for Ryuji.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation. I'll get moving shortly myself.
Alright. Vím, kde jsou. And these guys.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha. What brings you here today?
Huh? You two know each other?
Blacksmith klany. Neposlouchala si předtím? Jako no tak.
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the two clans. After I returned to Inazumme, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects.
Wait, what is the foreign word you just said? Raiden Gokaden, what does that mean?
Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazumme. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water, as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt,
Harry Potter rules.
the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryou Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryou Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse, and neither of them came back.
A fire?
Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Liyue is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Is that so?
Možná má nějaký ten Ishin meč, který má v sobě pocity a svoji vlastní inteligenci a ovládá ho, protože ten meč je temnej.
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Liyue would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Liyue was the one who attacked us as well.
We still need to visit the Nagato family.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Hey. Vizitnem Nagato. Což je nahoře. Bantan Sango Agency, you suck. There's a better detective in town. Sadly, he does not exist. Teď když mi to tohle storylineou připomněli, tak mě to leholince durdí o to víc, že prostě existuje celá detektivní postava, která prostě existuje v tomhle světě a je dobrý detektiv. Z toho, co jsem četl o jeho bio kousek, tak a prostě tu není.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
If I may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things.
Možná, že sbíral věci, dal si je do warehouse a ten warehouse pak schořel.
He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh.
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family?
Yeah, you did the right thing. It's important to set boundaries in these cases.
Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand.
So the buyer was the Anemona nephew?
Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye.
On fituje tomu descriptionu toho šíleného týpka s mečem docela líp.
If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you as well.
Based on the
Wow, takovej
information
jump.
so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp? Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
Zní to jako něco bych mohl kombinovat, takže se pokusím. They must have had an argument during the sale. Or maybe they also set the fire up deliberately to hide the truth behind what was happening. Though we are still missing crucial information to say anything for sure.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr. Nagato's collectibles. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict.
Když to describím takhle, tak Nagato zní přesně jako já.
Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there?
This also doesn't seem connected to the case of the attacker.
Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together.
Mohli bychom jít tam, kde to schořelo? I kdyby tam bylo cokoliv?
Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Tam, kde se to stalo, maybe?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse.
Děkuji.
There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
I kdyby to byla prostě hromádka ohořelých prken a popela, tak pořád to je lokace, kde se to stalo. Prostě investigation to nemůže vynechat. Also, what the fuck is this? And he's gone. That's it. No. Splnil jsem technické požadavky questu a aniž bych to musel udělat super doslovně, a tak jsem splnil i svoje vlastní požadavky. Hello, Mr. Swordsman. Si pamatuju vás z minulých dílů, kde jsme za ním byli jednou. Tak, vystupujeme z města.
Wait, I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
I know we could count on you.
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazumme, the remnants of the Tatarigami.
Well, that's one thing I didn't expect to encounter here.
Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place, but the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time.
Wouldn't have someone noticed?
From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters. But most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will. Their interests become fanatical obsessions.
Gee, that fits so well with what we have on the plate.
Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now? Go down and take a look?
Yes.
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside.
It's dangerous
If
though.
we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the... You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
Pravda, ale proč... Why test the boundaries? Open.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy source left this place. 2 ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much misfortune has already befallen them.
Can't afford to delay any longer.
Yes,
Let's hurry.
Let's go. If nothing else, it's vital that we find out where this Tatarigami energy is coming from. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you too will perceive its ominous presence in the wind.
Alright, tu cloud temný as fuck. Nevydává to nějaký elementární čmuch. Hop, to jsem
At this
řece.
point, the trail appears to split into 2. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here and seems to be dissipating slowly.
2 parts? That would correspond to the 2 missing, Mr. Nagato and Anemona Yuya.
Quite possibly. Let's search the area.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely!
Možná něco
Something
hledají.
seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Flicker. Diffract.
Done.
Ugh! Look at this red stuff! What is it?
Blood.
By the looks of it, a
Jelly?
letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's take a look.
Je to prostě dopis. OK, dopis. Dopis napsaný na hodně improvizovaný kus pergamenu ve hodně těžkých uvozovkách. I am Nagato. I was wounded by Anemona Yuya. He took my most precious blade that I had in my collection. I tried to chase him, but could not catch him. I lay down here to rest on account of my exhaustion. I thought that I might die right here. My stomach kept on bleeding too. But it seemed that some strange power is sustaining me. Why did he steal that blade anyway? I was going to sell it to him. He even burned my warehouse down. It hurts. It hurts. For some reason I can't fall unconscious. So all I can do to distract myself from the pain is to write these words. What happened to Sashiko, Yuichi, and Yuji? I'm sorry to all of them. I really am. Only now do I realize how stuck in my ways I was, and how blind I was in my obsession. I must have been cursed by the Tatarigami energy. I collected all those strange and bizarre things, but they won me not one iota of happiness or warmth. Put it all together and it still wouldn't have been worth a single word from her mouth. Thank you. And sorry for letting you down, Sashiko.
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a blade belonging to Mr. Nagato. Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So, where is he?
Dead?
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here.
Let's ask the Tender Commission to do a thorough search later.
Yes. Right now, we need to uncover some more important truths. If Ame no Mayuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting the same tragic end.
Right, so let's get moving.
How did it counter this? It's not his nature anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence of the Tatarigami. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would be their pursuit of further power and skill. All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected. It seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
What? The Anemona Yuya, který atakuje random lidi? Tak je ten attacker?
Figured it out? So
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea.
It's not.
We'll only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant. At any point now, we may find ourselves in danger.
Help. Tady to hromádku kamení, na který jsou určitě jeho kosti někde ohlodaný. Requiescat in pace.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
why here? Is there anything special about this place?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself! It's no use hiding anymore.
Yep, it's him. Hi, Mr. Anemone.
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before. What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Mayuya that stands before us. But what
Yep.
if instead of facing Ame no Mayuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
The blade.
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light.
To by měl být... To by měl být... tak velká red flaga, že by to měl být velká jako barák. Ale prostě ne, svítící meč, který má kolem sebe auru, to prostě vůbec není nic, co byste se měli bát. To je naprosto v pohodě.
Whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaedehara clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, He achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So, swords can become conscious and control people?
Ale svádí je towards the dark side, takže I don't know. Nevím, jestli je to dobrý.
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one. But in all other respects, after the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazumme. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
So Amenome Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazumme.
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazumme, I decided to buy my time in Nagato's warehouse, until Amenome Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenome Yuya's body, I have found you, and by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Yeah, somehow I don't think so. A víš co? Raiden Shogun tě vyzval osobně, ale trošku si tě namočím.
Illusion shattered. Now you shall perish.
Okay. Muso no Hitotachi, let's go.
And sever that divine light.
Shine down.
Only write history.
Yahoo!
Kde?
There is no escape.
Only write history. Submit to me.
Absurd.
Má auto aim.
Illusion shattered. Rest and rebuild.
Let's wash you slightly. Yep.
Do not stand in my
Raiden Shogun je lepší.
or I will strike you down too.
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost. I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit, nothing more. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take a new vessel at will.
Then we will smash you into pieces then.
The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. My consciousness shall endure.
We shall endure.
Any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art, but from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenome Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazumme. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Aminome Yuya and make your escape.
And what of it?
Well, that brings me to my second point.
That was second point.
There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one step away from achieving my goal.
You returned to Inazumme to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence, you blabbering fool! I must achieve my goal. This was his life's dream, and the very purpose for which I was brought into being. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my resolve.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection. And certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaedehara clan. If you wish to save this man, then offer me your body in exchange.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward path. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet. And I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demands.
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshukaku.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Aminome Yuya from your control.
I accept.
You're dealing with a burst blade that can possess people.
This is the only way to save Aminome Yuya. If we don't do this, he'll forever be the blade's puppet.
Neboli v jiných slovech. Proto je protože bude chodící mrtvola. V podstatě. Která se hýbe a stojí na nohách jenom proto, že v hlavě je někdo jiný.
The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak. And I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not completely devoid of honor. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenome Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But even so...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks entailed.
Alright. It's not like I can stop you.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me in your hand.
Oversteer, nope. Well. Just like that, he is possessed.
I'm okay. I felt a little dizzy at first, but only for a moment. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected.
If something feels off, let me know.
I will. Thank you.
And just like that,
What should we do next? Have you got a plan, Kazuha?
Anemone Yuya is still alive.
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute. Paimon remembers hearing about something from the Adventurers Guild.
Oh, what?
The Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base. It's been held by Ronin ever since.
That should fit the bill for your combat test.
Ah, all right. Please lead the way.
What about Amenome Yuya? What should we do with him?
The blade says he'll let Amenome Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is not in any immediate danger.
Are we sure this is a good idea? It's a pretty treacherous journey. Okay, fine.
Well. Jdeme provést combat test. Up. Jsme nahoře. Whee! Yes.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
Let's get down to business. More!
Wind Strider!
More!
Aha, někdo je zohňovaný, jo? To je škoda, že Anemo to rozšíří akorát. Tak, approach the fire.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! Wind Strider!
Done. Koupí.
You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
The real fights are so exciting.
Time to go.
No. Když tam byla ta Benares, wait a minute. Já mám koukat po bednách? Můžu si dát posilnění? Můžu. Takže... Babum, babum. A mám taky animal posilňovač, takže babum. Jo, zase. Stoupnout si kohínku. Wow, těch je docela dost. Ale tam ten oheň zasnul. Done.
Whoa, something's up with the blade.
It's grown dimmer?
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to Amanume Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
Here the end. Here it is, Mr. Sword. The end of the line.
I'm ready.
Wind Strider.
Got him.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight.
Byl to nejkratší fight.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did at the start.
Perhaps this time we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking about? Huh? What the? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk.
Že to byl fake, který by jenom enhancnul tatarigami energii a teď jsme tu tatarigami energii spotřebovali. Takže ten super awesome coating na vrchu je obroušený. It really looks like it's about to break.
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazumme has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy.
Will he listen to you?
I
Even though the
finally
truth
figured
is right
out why
there?
It was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Here they are. Take them down.
Where do they keep coming from?
We shouldn't fight anymore.
Yup. We can help this time.
Don't worry. I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
Let's get down to business.
Let me try my blade.
Wind Strider.
Já používám filetovací meč teďkon. This is it.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a ray of hope for me.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue.
What?
Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power: skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of my consciousness.
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination you were destined never to reach. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my consciousness, and purpose. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall forge your legacy." How could I go back on my word?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further to say.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect on things. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. It was somewhere I've never been. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near its end. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final words.
Wow. That was the blade's memory, wasn't it?
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazumme, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith. That they were still worthy of being trusted.
So that's the true story. But after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud creation into the cursed blade of today.
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its errors when it was losing its way.
Shame it's too late now.
Yes, it is too late. Time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though. Let's go and check in.
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving me the gift of consciousness. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Over time, I lost sight of the difference between gratitude and grudge. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition, I also defiled it.
You are finally seeing reality clearly.
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor the agreement and release Ame no Mayuya, but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my existence. So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the ambitions of myself and my creator?
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too? Jeez, don't push your luck, mister.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Ame no Mayuya as promised. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has grown a lot, Mike. What do you think, Kazuha? Should we give him a chance?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again, nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle since. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey, the next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel between samurai.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. You must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
He regains consciousness after a while. The party explains it to him.
He used my body
Yay.
to inflict harm on others.
Ame no Mayuya. In person.
I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself forward. I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay here. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of ceremony.
You know, get back. There we go. Díky cinematiku jsem si všiml, že tam byla vůbec bedna. Ding! S dovolením. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, come on. Recharge your stamina faster. Whee! Nope.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash.
That was a much more relaxed occasion, though.
Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now, Paimon has a sneaking suspicion that blade hasn't told us everything.
Krabby.
Still, even if he's way past the point of redemption, are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art.
Successor of Amenoma art. Amenome Yui.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
Wind Strider. That hurts. Wind Strider. It's fine.
Oh no, he's too strong.
Wind Strider.
Je to velmi těsný fight.
Adorn my knights.
A teďka použiju multinu a je to absolutně totálně v kapse. Yep.
Thank you for the experience.
Mezitím se jeho klon vypařil.
Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all of that.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaedehara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand this.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do the right thing.
Thank you, successor of Amenoma art.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to go there for?
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is about to come to an end.
Yeah, I think so too. Měli jsme surprise encounter, hodně questions, what the fuck is happening, docela zajímavou i detektivní sekvenci, dozvěděli jsme se background věci od Kazuhy v procesu a pak se všechno spojilo a je všechno over.
Oh, it's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
And we tell Togo that all things that happened.
Ishin blade. turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity, but I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Oh, he lives?
Really? Is he okay?
He's alive?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will live.
Damn.
And now that Liyue is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
Wow. GG to Nagato for staying the fuck alive. Za to, že si Nagato zůstal naživu, dostáváš zlatého bludišťáka.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear again?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief...
What? No way! Hasn't it learned its lesson?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided to let him do it.
I trust your judgment.
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin. Please, stay true to your promise.
Oh, cinematic.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish.
Yay.
Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
Meč upgradeovaný. After leaving the smithy, you learned of the blade final words.
That's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith's wish.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them.
And the remnants of the defeated gods are nothing to scoff at.
I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspirations. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh, Kazuha.
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
We'll hold you to the word.
Wait, shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. We need to tell him about the findings of our investigation.
Yes.
And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
Hi, Ryuji. He has nothing to say. Když je ještě jedna lokace, za kterou bych se chtěl stavit, kterou budeme mít tady po cestě, pokud si pamatuju, že kde to je. Já myslím, že to je ona, ale jako myslím, že by zmíněno, že to ona vlastně zmiňovala ta madam, že mají děti, takže tohle to bude asi jedno z těch dětí. Má smysl. Takže s Nagatem se bohužel asi nepotkáme. A jen si to zkrátím o těch pár metrů. Se mi nechce moc jít do kopce. Bych rád pozdravil Nagata, jestli jak se má prostě ho vidět.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanoma Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaedehara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaedehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
A conflict with the Sangonomiya? What are you talking about? Ze Sangonomiyou by si měl absolutně ty minimální konflikt. Ty by ti vyšly vstříc.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the Shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
Smeru?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Maybe Venti will show you to the right place? A strange and friendless road. Quest complete.
Mr. Nagato's survival is the one silver lining in this whole catastrophe.
Yay, i on ho zmíní.
We will continue to monitor his condition and hope he recovers soon.
Hey, good job, Nagato. Já jsem jí dostal! Kagotsurube Ishin. Who is? You are. Attack bonus. Velmi cenný. Ishin Art Clarity. When a normal charge or plunging attack hits an opponent, it will whip up a hewing gale, dealing AoE damage equal to attack krát 2 and increasing the attack further. This effect can be triggered once every 8 seconds, což není až tak hrozný. A s čím se refinuje, to vůbec nevím. Jo, max refinement level reached. Takže v skutku to nedává smysl, protože je to super unique blade. Ale můžu lehce vylevelovat. Moc to z začátku stát nebude. What do you cost? Ježiš, tyhle ty shoppingy, který prostě jsem nikdy neviděl. A samozřejmě, že to stojí taky ty spirit věci, kterých všichni chtějí. There you go. I don't have the material anyway. Tady je stejný meč na podobném levelu. Staty má úplně stejný jako klasický meč. Tak meč. Jemu to přímo dát nemůžu. Tady Ayaka má právě z té Amenoma Bladesmithu ten Anemona specifický meč. Tady je Kaedehara klanový meč. To jsou ty dva meče z těch jejich dvou artů. Že Ayaka už má svůj meč a to si ho nechá. Jean má ten meč, se kterým je často párovaná, že tu tam nechám z těch důvodů. Catching. To má taky attack bladeu. To má akorát Bane of Thunder. Increases damage against opponents affected by electro, což ona dělá. Ona má meč na crit rate a Lumina má super meč. Tohleto je healing damage. Pravděpodobně. Je to velmi možný. Až ji někdy vylevluju slightly further, tak Kagotsurube Ishin padne do ruky Catching. Protože je to úplně stejný meč, co má Catching, akorát ten Ishin má dobrou pasivku, která se jí bude líbit víc. But in any case, to bylo všechno z tohohle dílu, co jsme tu měli připraveno, takže to bude end of the line. Quest jsem si užil, bylo to hodně záživný ve všech krocích a vždycky bylo něco, takže jsem byl entertained celou cestu a pro mě osobně jsem necítil žádný noticeable low pointy, který bych na sobě vypozoroval. Možná bych vypozoroval nějaký low pointy jako na sobě teďkon z druhé ruky, kdybych jako si rewatchnul tenhle ten díl sám později a prostě vypozoroval něco na tom. Šož. Ale jinak takhle z první ruky to jako dobrý. Kazuha byl hodně fajn. Mám ho rád. A jelikož je to Traveler, stejně jako Lumina, tak se může teoreticky objevit s Bejdou na lodi úplně kdekoliv, včetně Port Ormos v Sumeru, kde jsme byli nedávno v minulém díle. A jedna věc, co jsem si teď vzpomněl, zmiňuji. Šeš. A když už jsem zmínil minulý díly, tak můžu celebratenout lehoulince. Žádný rachejtle sice nevyletějí, ale stejně. Minislava, úspěšně jsme se dostali přes 100 dílů Genshin Impactu. Všechny díly ze začátku, mostly, naplněný příběhama a hangoutama a velkýma eventama. A i tak těch dílů je přes 100. A tak vás nyní v tomhle díle můžu uvítat a zanedlo se rozloučit u dílu 101. Oficiálně má nejdelší série, která bude nejdelší na hodně dlouho. Se nedokážu představit, jaká série by possibly mohla být takhle dlouhá, ne-li další. Možná kdybyste eventuálně sečetli všechny Need for Speedy z mý mega série, která přeskakuje, která bude spojovat několik těch Need for Speed her, tak možná to by tomu mohlo rivalnout. Ale to je tak jediný. No a nic, tak už jsem quest jsem komentoval. Gratuluju sobě i vám i YouTube algoritmu, že jsem úspěšně mohl udělat přes 100 videí a dosáhnout 100. milníku epizod na tuto senzační hru, kterou mám tak rád. Už nemám takovou, na rozdíl od začátku, takovou. Šoš. Už nemám od začátku sice takovou, jak bych to řekl, takovou fanatičnost s touhletou hrou, ani až takovou obsesivitu. Stalo se to takovou jednou z mnoha her, kterou mám vysoko, ale už to není v top 3 hry, který si chci zahrát. Ne, že bych tady měl tolik, takže to ani to nedává smysl. Prostě momentálně jsou jiné hry, o kterých mám super mega velký zájem. Genshin se stal ze hry, kterou jsem hrál fanaticky, na hru, kterou hraju jako druhou nebo třetí možnost. Ale pořád je to minimálně třetí, většinou druhá možnost. A vždycky Genshin zůstane po mém boku a hodlám to tak dodržet. A pokud tu budeme spolu i na 150. nebo 200. milník, tak proč ne? S radostí se s váma setkám u 200. 150. dílu, kde oslavíme zase takovýhle milník. Ale samozřejmě se musíme posunout dál, což zaobírá naší tradici od úplného začátku. A tím od úplného začátku myslím tak od 5. 6. dílu. Což není úplně na začátku, ale stejně prostě 95 dílů plus minus. Prostě jsme měli tuhletu tradici vždycky ve stejném zhruba formátu. A to? Vyšpol! Na konci každého dílu vždycky udělám pull a od začátku mám v podstatě stejný pravidla. osobní. Pro side story 1,5, možná 2. Pro hlavní archon story většinou 2 a když ani ty 2 prostě nebudou, tak mám povolený pro sebe 3,5 za jeden díl. A prostě to je většinou max, protože takhle tímhletím způsobem každý díl má v sobě vyšpuly. Některý jsou super úspěšný a já chytím záchvat z toho, že dostanu 5stárovou postavu, což jsou teďkon zpětně hodně zajímavý a funny momenty pro mě. A někdy prostě dostanu 2 meče a postavu, kterou už jsem dostal milionkrát, nebo postavu, za kterou prostě ani moc nehraju. Takže ten range je velký, ale co jsem vypozoroval, tak jednou tak v mém čase, tak jednou tak za 1, 2, 3, nebo maximálně 3 měsíce dostanu 5stárovej drop. Takže čas od času se 5stára stane, když samozřejmě to nesmí být nic, po čem jdete přímo, protože jakmile budete pulovat, abyste dostali 5staru, tak si začnete hrabat díru, do které budete skákat a to bude silně afektovat váš enjoyment a vaši peněženku, takže to bych neradil ani vám, ani sobě. Takže půjdeme rovnou na top, jak jsem říkal, dáme 1,5, když to bude něco, s čím nebudu tak spokojen, tak dáme druhý. Ale už teď jsem uspokojen tím, že jsem dostal BDS 4starový meč, který eventuálně dám catching, který je hodně užitečný. A catching už tolik nepoužívám, co mám Raiden Shogun, ale pořád ji občas vytáhnu. Tak jdeme na to. Samozřejmě se nebudu koukat, abych byl překvapený. I will pray to the RNGesus to give me good stuff. Prosím, I pray for the good luck, for the good juju, as some would say. Pojďme rozbalit drop dnešního dílu. Layla power up! Její casual fighting style není úplně až tak slavný, ale posilnění jejich skillu by mohlo přinést vítr do jejich plachet. Yes! Yes! Kámo! Já jsem ten nejšťastnější člověk na téhle planetě. Můj bože. Já nevím, jestli mám vzbudit celý svůj barák, aby pocítil moje absolutní euforie. Můj bože. Where is my screenshot button? Where is my fucking screenshot button? Here we go. Oh, boys, tonight is gonna be a happy day. Dámy a pánové, kluci a holky, dneska se nebude spát. Dneska se nebude spát ani náhodou, protože musím věnovat určitým záležitostem čas a dát jim extra lásku a péče a zabrousit do bikiny taky, jak abych to měl od expertů, co mám dělat s těma věcma. A hodně si to užít, když teďkon rajduju tu vlnu euforie a totálně si to užiju na max. Takže si dovedem ty ostatní věci, co jsou taková formalita. Že samozřejmě pár trojstarových doprovodníků dostanu taky, takže throw them at me. I know I will get all of these. Ale taky Layla. To je hrozně cute, a je hodně slíbil, mám jí rád a teď ještě na ní power. Škoda, že Layla není až tak užitečná jako ostatní. Kdyby existovaly 3-starové postavy, tak bych ji rozhodně ranknul jako 3-starovou postavu. Bohužel, mě to tak. Já si stejně useless jako Chongyun, který ho absolutně nesnáším. Má podstatě one hand sword style a má ledový styl jako Kaja a Kaja je taky lehce useless. A srovnal bych ji s Kajou, co se týče fighting stylu. Ale je to cute girl a I love cute girls. Což je totálně pochopitelný a předvídatelný od mužského pohlaví. Taky je fakt, že máme 38 a můžu si koupit jednu z těch dvou postav. A I would like to. Vykoupíme všechny tyhlety, akorát to vystačí. Mám ještě nějaký tyhlety na koupení materiálu, který nechci schánět, obzvláště těch v Sumeru, kterým se většinou ani nemůžu dostat. Takže čeknu jednu věc. A ne tu, co čekáte, čeknu Ember, kolik mám u ní konstelací. Jenom jednu, takže... To je tohle. Hitting Baron Bunny's foot with the... Hitting Baron Bunny with a charged aim shot will manually detonate it. A dá to 200% damage. To je užitečný. A měl bych se podívat na Razera, jelikož tam je taky. U Razera mám 4, OK. Razer se čas od času objevuje jako postava v těch charakter vyšších vešpulech, takže není neobvyklý, abych ho dostal, ale ta základní Favonius 4 nebo 3 prostě se absolutně neobjevuje, jakože ani náhodou. Maximálně možná v tom standard veši za ty čistý modrý kuličky, kde může dropnout kdokoliv. Ale za prvý, kdo puluje ty, když máte ty charakter event vyše. A tam padá úplně všechno, takže šance, že dostanete jedno z nich je jako dostat 5 starů. Takže já využiju ty příležitosti a dám si Ember jakožto tý členku originální trojky, která se nikdy neobjevuje v speciálních vyšších, a tak dostanu jednu další stáru k ní. Já Ember sice nepoužívám, ale možná nebýte rád používám postavy jako je Ember, když hraju v koopu nebo v multiplayeru prostě s ostatníma lidma. A kde rád bojuju s slow level monstrama, protože to je konečně úleva a je to hrozně fajn být silnější a neslogovat přes hodně přesílený health body, tak vytáhnu postavy jako je právě Ember, kterou bych si právě na tyhle ty super silný monstra v mém světě nikdy nevzal a můžu vytáhnout Ember. Takže Ember, come home once again. Ding! Ember! Well, we have many things to check. A jakož je i dodatečná tradice, tak s jakoukoliv novou postavou ji budu inspektovat on video, abyste měli moji blind reaction to co ta postava dělá. Takže body triggered, jak jsme četli. Takže tady jsou ty skill increase a další pasivka je decreases excellent puppets cooldown. Adds one additional charge as well. Okay. Co má jako ultimátní? Fire Rain, nebo ten Arrow Rain increases all party members' movement speed and attack. Cool. Simultánně 50 je Virdescendant, ten je docela fajn. A co Layla? U ní jsem se moc nedotk. Takže její skilly se jmenují Knights of Formal Focus je skill a Dream of the Stream Shaker je ultina. Fortress of Fantasy. Fortress of Fantasy. Okay. The shield absorption of the Curtain of Slumber generated by skill is increased. The shield absorption is increased by 20%. Additionally, when unleashing the skill, she will generate a shield for any nearby party members who are not being protected. The shield will have 35% of the absorption of the personal shield. Will last for only 12 seconds, místo 20 plus možná, and will absorb cryo damage with a lot of effectiveness. Takže to bude speciálnější elementární silnější štít, jako mají třeba Xinyan nebo Xinyan, nevím jak se to čte, která má ohnivou variantu tohoto. Stejně jako ta, nevím jak nespomenu se jméno, Yanfei, jsem si vzpomněl. Stejně jako Yanfei, která teďkon, když jsem na ní dostal ultimátní 6. konstelaci, tak teďkon ona má taky Pyro Shield, který má stejnou property, jako je tohleto. V té posledním větě. Takže Layla teď s tou první má v podstatě ten cryo ekvivalent. To je cool. To je cool konstelace, co dostat. A jako sneak peek na další případný. When shooting stars from the skill strike opponents, they will restore 1 energy to Layla. Each shooting star can restore energy to her this manner once. Takže jenom za to, že použije skill, tak si doplní třeba čtvrtku toho automaticky. To je definitivně se kvalifikuje jako mírná pomoc, která není žádná velká. Ale in the long run, it helps. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one certain Nahida. Samozřejmě je relativně jasný, kdo to je, ale nebudu to vynášet na světlo tak mermomocně. Nechám si cokoliv jenom trošičku hlubokého na moment, až dojdu k discoveries určitým v příběhu. Nechám si to prostě na příběh. Ale ten blurb si přečtu, jakožto u každý nový postavy. A caged bird secluded within the confines of the sanctuaries of Surahastra, who can only see the world in their dreams. Zajímavé. Obzvláště když to takhle zmíním nakonec, než si přečteme její talenty. Obzvláště když v příštím díle se můžete těšit na sumerské pokračování. A jestli to bude stejný jako předtím, tak se můžete těšit na sumerské pokračování v příštích 3 dílech. A vzhledem k upload schedule, tak to bude na 1-2 měsíce rozprostřelý. Takže cool. Normal attack a kara. A jak už můžete možná některý tušit, je to spellcasterka. Takže má spellcastovaný dendro, což spellcastři, který mají elementální spellcastři, jsou pro mě nejvíc cenný, protože je s nima šíleně snadný udělat ty komba s tím elementem. Proto chci docela osobně ledovýho spellcastera, i když nevím, jestli taková postava vůbec existuje. A jestli jo, tak bych ji hodně ocenil, protože to by bylo docela fajn. A teď mám Dendro spellcaster postavu. Normálně tak kara, to většinou nemá nic speciálního, ale přečtem si to, just in case. Performs up to 4 attacks that deal dendro damage to opponents in front of the area. Charge attack, summon, whatever, short casting time, might play the dendro plunges towards the gun. Nic speciálního se neděje. Takže skills. All schemes to know. Sends forth karmic bonds of wood and tree from her side, dealing AoE dendro damage and marking up to 8 opponents. When held, this skill will trigger something else. Enters aiming mode, which will allow you to select a limited number of opponents within the limited area. Takže libovolnou zónu s libovolným počtem nepřátel, který můžete předznačit. During this time, Nahida's resistance to interruption will be increased. Yay, interruption resistance, děkuji. When released, this skill deals dendro damage to these marked opponents and marks them with a seed. Aiming mode will last up to 5 seconds only and you can select maximum of 8. Takže to není nekonečný aiming mode jako catching a to dendro týpka. A ty seedy takový, je to zmiňovaný, ale co ty seedy vůbec jsou? Opponents have been marked by the seeds will be linked to one another until a certain distance. After you trigger elemental reactions on opponents that have those seeds, or when they take damage from dendro cores z určitých jiných důvodů třeba, Nahida will unleash Trikarm Purification on opponents and all connected opponents, kteří jsou připojení k sobě, dealing dendro damage based on their attack on elemental mastery. You can trigger one Trikarm within a short period of time. Ultina, Illusory Heart. Manifests the Court of Dreams and expands the Shrine of Maya. When the Shrine of Maya field is unleashed, the following effects will be separately unleashed based on the elemental types present. Based on the elemental... Takže se stanou věci podle toho, koho má v partě. Pyro charakter... While Nahida remains within the Shrine of Maya, the damage dealt by the purification is increased. With the Electro character, while Nahida remains within the Shrine of Maya, the interval between each Trikarma purification is decreased. A Hydro character, the Shrine of Maya's duration is increased. Anyway, it's cool. Well, jenom tyhle tři, I guess. If there are at least 2 party members of the aforementioned elemental types present when the field... If there are at least 2 party members present when the field is deployed, the aforementioned effect will be increased further. Takže to se neexkluduje, to se prostě vyloženě stakuje na sebe. Jednodušeji řečeno. Takže to se vzájemně nelimituje. Even if Nahida is not in the field, these bonuses will still take effect so long as the party members are within the Shrine of Maya. A teď pasivky. Takže basic pasivka, což je většinou nějaký craftování nebo nějaký map bonus. Nahida can use all schemes to know, což je ten skill, to interact with some harvestable items within a fixed AoE. This skill may even have some other effects. Hint, hint. Cryptic. A pasivka za lehký upgrade. When unleashing Illusory Heart, the Shrine of Maya will gain the following effects. Což je když vykastíte ultinu, tak to bude mít další efekty. The elemental mastery of the active character within the field will be increased by the elemental mastery of the party member with the highest elemental mastery. You can gain maximum of this that. Takže elemental mastery kurentní postavy bude increasenutý o 25% od základu elemental mastery té nejlepší postavy. Což můžou být úplně 2 jiné postavy než tu třetí postavu, kterou máte. Takže vykástíte ten Illusory Heart tady s touhle postavou, mezi tím, co máte druhou postavu, a ta bude buffnuta Elemental Mastery třetí postavy. Prostě nějakou vaší třetí postavou. Takže takhle můžete chainnout prostě do sebe touhletou reakcí 3 postavy, které se vzájemně afektují a prostě jen tak. OK. A pasivka, když si tu postavu namaxujete. Nebo téměř namaxujete. Each point of Nahida's elemental mastery beyond 200% will grant bonus damage and bonus crit rate to trigger armor purification. Maximum of 80% damage and 25% crit rate can be granted in this manner. Okay. Takže na ní budu hodně buildovat elemental mastery a tak. Aspoň se nemusím nějak zabývat těmi crit ratey a tímhle. A vlastně ještě energy recharge, taky asi ne. Well, what weapon would you like? Nějakou elemental mastery věc asi, nebo já tak by byl fajn. Takže co tu máme? Hakushin ring od Kitsune Saigu. To je energy recharge věc. Jaký forstary? Tady mám tu knihu dvakrát, Favonius Codex, to je taky energy recharge. Mám tu Royal Grimoire. Královský grimoire, ten je attack basenutý. Takže minimálně to splňuje jednu z těch dvou věcí, která ona potřebuje buildovat, attack nebo elemental mastery. A pak jako poslední na 4-star tu mám Witsit, což je critical damage, což taky nevyhovuje. Mám tu pár 3-starů, což je crit rate, elemental mastery a recharge, takže magic guide technicky vzato. Ale má to Bane of Tormentai, což se jí absolutně nehodí. A co ty obsazený? Já to je zrovna z té sacrificial série, která může opakovat své útoky. A na Sukrolo se to docela hodí, takže bych jí to nerad bral. Tohle to vím, že ten IOS Perception mám hodně rád, ten je atakovej. Mapa Mare je taky elemental masteryovej. A Frost Barrier je taky atak. No. Já si myslím, že já si dám věc tady tu atak knížku a zatím je nechám to, později se poradím s internetovou radou starších, který mi doporučí něco jiného asi. Upon damaging, upon increases, it increases crit rate. Ta pasivka je taky úplně nevyhovuje, protože jí je crit rate relativně jedno. Na restauranu ji budu používat víc než Sucralose, to je pravda, to by jeden mohl nabídnout, že Sucralose stejně nepoužívám a nevytáhnul jsem ji v minulých dílech. A máte pravdu. Takže teoreticky bych mohl. A mohl bych Sucralose jednoduše tradenout jednu z těch věcí. Což dá tý masivní energy recharge by nebylo od věci. A nebo jí dát masivní atak. A jo. Tak a swap. Na hydě dám Sacrificial Ságu, aby mohla případně ten skill vykástit víckrát, i když nevím vůbec jak funguje, takže to taky případně změním. Ding. Potřebuji ty nejvíc basic sumeru věci, který už mám. A díky tomu získám i tady další wishball. Jej. No, to nechám for later. A teď jsem si vzpomněl, že tu vlastně je jedna další věc, kterou můžeme udělat po hodně dlouhé době. A to tady. Taky bych mohl i technicky vyzvednout jí. Physic of Purity. Tam je to primogemy a nějaký ty level materiály. Ten prášek bych docela využil. Takže půjdeme na to a rovnou si můžeme dát sneak peek, jak se bude handlovat na vyšší levelech s profesionálním equipem. Somehow it works. Jo, označí je to. Takovou kytičkou před nima. Jsem na chvíli myslel, že to označí něčím malým, čeho si nebudu ani moc všimnout, ale... Vlastně, když to presnu, tak to má jiný efekt. Jo, to prostě udělá swing. To prostě mávne tou bludičkou prostě před sebe do arku. A tak to je spojí tak. Když to zamířím, tak to je jako foťák. Jo. Vyprší to? Zatím to nevypršelo, nevím, jestli to bylo 5 sekund. A tyhle ty dva máme.
Try not to enjoy.
Sama o sobě? Very good. A když ji budu používat jako ala time, že vyhodím pár věcí, které budou dávat elementární reakci a pak ji vezmu jako maina, jako to dělám s ním, tak to bude stejně OP, ne-li víc. So, yay for the future. Samozřejmě zvednu svoje rewards. A jedna věc mě zajímá, samozřejmě. Musím kliknout dole. A to jsem to zapomněl. Jo, už jsem si vzpomněl. Co potřebuje? Dendrohypostasis na level up. O tom zatím nemám ani trochu ánung, what the fuck that is a kde to je, takže jo. Už jsou asi z těch asi 6 nebo 5 minibossů, co se nacházejí v Sumeru. Mám nějaký ánung, kde zhruba hledat 2. O 2 vím, kde je hledat a jsem schopen je vyhledat a tracknout celou tu vzdálenost naslepo samozřejmě a jako sneaknout nějaký materiály z toho, ale dendrohypostasis mezi nimi rozhodně není. Takže jo, tak. Takže to bude příště a všechno. Do příště se uvidíme. A to samozřejmě vypiluju na hidu samozřejmě jak se patří. Bude v mé realitě menší mezera, ale pro vás by to mohlo být Pro vás to asi pravděpodobně bude v podstatě jenom díl od dílu. Takže příště se uvidíme v Sumeru once again. A nejenom, že se uvidíme jen tak v Sumeru, ale uvidíme se tam i s Naidou, u který uvidíte, co jsem s ní všechno udělal a jak moc jsem progresnul na jejím posílení. A rozhodně najdu cestu, jak ji dostat do nějaký grupy, kterou budu používat. Nějakým způsobem. Takže to bude ode mě všechno. Děkuji, že jste se dívali na tento úžasně vyvedený díl, naplněný úžasným questem a ještě úžasnější rewardou. Thank you for talking over me. I love you so much. A s touhletou bombou na konci se s váma můžu rozloučit. Děkuji, že jste dívali a uvidíme se příště. Dobrou noc.